Hey everyone, I just want to share with you how I was building this somewhat custom slot car track for my home. So I'm making progress on my portable slot car track. The whole idea is that I can put this together and take it back down in like 5 minutes each time. But I've run into a struggle on this straight section here because I designed this so that this extension here will protect these tabs on the long stretches on each side, but somehow I miscalculated this by like over an inch. Let me see something here. This strip is 1 inch wide, and so it looks like I'm off by about an inch and an eighth. The whole idea was that this was supposed to be cut right to that edge, and then I gave a little extra room underneath here for the board to slide over, and they will connect here. And now I'm thinking I've got to shorten these boards up. And on top of that, this is adapters, and this is the different type of scale electric track connectors. See how that connects as opposed to these standard connections. So this type of connection is no longer made. It's discontinued from research I've done. So I need to take them and adapt another piece of track, because probably that's where my mistake is. I compared it to another piece of 2 sections of straight track, and maybe I made this to match 2 sections of straight track instead of matching this. Because what I'm doing with the other one is I'm going to cut the straight track off short, and I'm going to meld them together in the middle. Not melt, but make them line up. I have a piece of brass rod that will fill inside these rails where they will come together to conduct the electricity. So on this, I think what I'm going to do, just to be safe, I'm going to let it overhang just a hair, like so. Take a new measurement on this side over here, then reinforce it underneath, and then using the chop saw, cut that end off and shorten it up. So that's where I'm at right now. But this curved section here, I've got some banking. You can see how much it's raised up on the outside compared to the inside. And ignore all the sawdust. I had to do a little sanding to make everything match up. And I'm going to spray paint that black so that everything blends together. And the toolbox and the oil jugs are just there for weights. Everything else is clamped around the outside edge. So hopefully by tomorrow I'll have this all done. Even if it's not painted, if I have it all built, I can paint it when I get back home, because right now I'm on assignment over in Beachside. I'm back working on the track, and I wanted to show you what I have done here on my straight section. So this is a straight section that's going to go on the far side over there. This is actually going to be the inside of the inside lane. That'll be the outside lane. I'm probably going to have to drill some holes and pin this down a little better here. And then I have this part here, which is a little wider, and the plan is that the track will go here, terminal for the controllers will be right here, and then I'm going to have a pit row like over here. It's basically going to be a staging area for my extra cars. And those are some cars that recently came in the mail that I picked up off eBay, except for that one. I got that at the RC Super Store. That's my GT40. And I'll do a review of those later, another time. But I want to show you how I am working this section of track out. So this is my backstretch, like I said, and this squeeze is a Scalextric's track that uses this type of connection here, connectors here, where my track uses this kind of connector. Well, fortunately, they give you 2 adapter pieces. So I can slip this in here. Sun's not helping getting good without such bad shadows. So that's there, but here's where the trick lies. When you take 2 standard pieces of straight track, it's too long. So I measured it, and the difference in length is visible right there. That line to the left is where I need to shorten this track. Putting the ruler in place, looks like 6.5 inches. So the problem is, if I cut this off, how am I going to connect to the rest of the track? So that 6.5 inches I'm going to take out of this space right here. What I'll do is I'll go 3 1/4 this way, 3 1/4 this way, cut this, and then to conduct the electricity through these pieces of track, I have this brass tubing that I picked up at the hardware store from Precision Metals, K&S Precision Metals. I get all my piano wire for my model trains through them. So got this piece of brass tubing, and it's the perfect size to fit inside these. Now that I've got it trimmed up and cleaned up, the joints here on the track, see, can the camera get any better on there? Let's see, there we go. Yeah, doesn't know where it wants to focus. I got that cut and shaved nice and cleanly. This side is cut and shaved nice and cleanly. Put the 2 edges together, and they do match the length here on this section of track. And you can see my brass rods I put in there. I used a Dremel tool and softened the edges, rounded them a little bit so that'll press together. So I'm going to just put this together real quick before I actually glue the sides on this board and finish the painting on it, and just do a test run of the track, see how it goes. So here's the track. That's my car with headlights and tail lights. This is the mother's mag and aluminum polish that I use to polish up the rails. I don't care that it makes the track look dirty because roads are dirty anyway. And then I use a fiberglass pencil. This is my fiberglass pencil that I use to clean tracks. And you can buy these on eBay. Look under jeweler supplies or jewelry tools. Just use it to clean up the corrosion that's building up on the track, and it actually polishes up pretty well. I will be storing my track indoors, but the best place to run it right now is outdoors. So, and if you're wondering how's that car running on its own while I'm walking around the track, I took this controller, it's a little warm right now, I took the spring out of it, which I think is about right in this area. I just disengaged it so that I can move this myself. I'm going to put a hole in the bottom, put a little screw, but that allows me to set the car at a set speed. I'm going to call it, you know, with all the new cars out today, we'll call it an autonomous racer. So we're letting that guy run autonomously. And I don't know if you could really see his headlights. His taillights definitely stand out. And then I'm going to run this, my Motorola here, on the inside lane. And I have that squeeze over there. And I've already done one test drive, and they both went through side by side. And I sent the, sent the other car flying off the track. So, but this is just test my cars and that for right now, and to get used to the handling of them. This Porsche, oh darn, I'm gonna crash. Okay, this Porsche here, I bought it used, and it's somebody raced it because there are no magnets in it, or they just ran it without magnets. These other cars, these are Scale Electrics, they run with magnets in them, and they stick to the track pretty good, but you get enough speed and they're gonna spin out on you. Whoa, like that. So I'm happy with what I've got so far on this. There is some sort of contact issue here, so I'm probably, this was just testing it, so before I put the sides on in the pit row over here for the other cars, I think what I'll do is on the bottom side, I'll see if there's a way I can solder jumper wires from here to here, here to here on both sides, so that I have good conductivity. I did use this Sandchem Incorporated No Oxide A Special, and put a coating on the rails that I had to clean up, and the cars are moving much faster on the old track that I cleaned up, and the new track, it just runs beautifully. So, but I'll put some jumper wires here where the tabs are on the track, where they come together. Inside here, I think on these ends, I'm going to put some of this no oxide. This is a electrical conductivity grease. Put that on those tabs, and that'll improve the connection. And these will be stored indoors so they don't get dirty like the ones that I bought used did. And then when my other tracks come in, I will build 2 longer sections. It'll be about so long plus a little bit more, I think, because I'm going to put a chicane on that side. So I'm looking forward to it, to getting that done. Also, I'm going to put stacks of tires over here to be safety barriers in the corners, and then I'll put a wall on the end, because these things do take off, and this does have a little trouble. Even though the inside track is shorter, it's harder to manage racing on it, so it gives me 2 ways to practice racing on the slot car track and get used to how the car handles things, accelerating, slowing down, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited. And I will put together a video with my full livery of cars that I've picked up used on eBay. Some of them for as cheap as $13. I got that Porsche for only $15. This one I think I got for $19. So I'm pretty excited that I was able to get some nice cars at an inexpensive price, so we can have some fun racing slot cars here at the house. So stay tuned, and I will show you, post more videos of my reviews of my different cars that I've purchased off eBay. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Thanks again.